Good morning, all. Good morning, all. My name is Robert Almy. This meeting is being recorded. This is the October 23rd, 2025 meeting of the Dartmouth Board of Public Works. First item is to take a roll call. Mr. Gagne,
Present.
Mr. LaBelle,
Yeah,
the chair, Mr. Almy is here. First order of business is to approve and accept warrants. Do I have a motion?
motion to approve and accept the warrants for bills payable period ending September 22, 29, October 6, 14, and 20.
I have a motion by Mr. LaBelle. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gagne. Mr. Gagne, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Mr. LaBelle?
Yes,
The chair votes yes. Item is approved. Next item is to approve and accept payrolls.
motion to approve and accept the payrolls for the weeks ending September 13, 20, and 27, and October 4 and 11.
I have a motion by Mr. LaBelle. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gagne. Mr. Gagne, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. LaBelle, how do you vote?
Yes,
Chair votes yes, item is approved. Next item on the agenda is old business A, water and sewer abatement for 16 Emerald Drive.
So last meeting, Mr. Chen, who I don't believe he's here at this meeting, currently. Mr. Chen had requested a water and sewer abatement from the board regarding his brother's house, in which he received a water bill and sewer bill of a total of $2,085.18. That bill showed consistent consumption from April 13th through May 3rd, and then the consumption stopped, showing possibility of either a leak inside or outside. The water bill portion was $1,167, and the sewer portion was $917. I'm sorry, Mr. Chen, I see you just showed up. I was just kind of prefacing last meeting. So the total for water was $1,167, and the total for sewer was $917. Previous bills for that property average around $100 for both water and sewer biannually. They have a 3/4 inch meter. The meter was tested after the last meeting, and the meter showed to be accurate and functioning properly. So at this point, we don't have any evidence that the meter was faulty.
Yeah, I understand the meter is not broken because I trust your test results, but I still don't understand why I use so much water, because I don't see the flooding, I don't see anything. But your question, you said that people could be use the water outside, but I talk the neighborhood, each the neighborhood, no one see the people use the water. That's why I still don't understand what's going on. I trust what the test results about the meter. Okay, I don't have a question about that, but I just still don't understand why there's so much water there, be used. All right. So so after this one, I was hire people, to put like a controller inside the house, control outside the water. I did this way, so I checked all the parts. I can hide a picture show you. People, there was I think one of your staff, concerned about the toilet. He said toilet about leaking, if it's not a closed toilet. But the toilet I have is showing is like a use of the electronic one. I had a picture show that. They bought it from Japan. They put it in there, so you have electronic control. So then so I don't think the electronic control can lose the control, because I go there the house most every like 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. Okay, but this happened about 3 weeks, continue long 3 times. If I was thinking of leaking, I should have found out, but I didn't find out this. But Antonio, after a report, Antonio went to the house. We checked every corner. No, he had an argument. He said because because Dartmouth is not like New Bedford. New Bedford had a water repairs every month. Dartmouth for every 6 months. So right, if the things happen in the May, we are talking about it in after like August sometime. You're not able to go back check, right? So you only I tell you no flooding, nobody can prove that. He said no. That's why I think Dartmouth's policy about every 6 months report probably need to be changes. You probably need to do every month, just like another senior Bedford.
Mr.
So if
Chen,
something happen, so we can quickly check.
Mr. Chen, so
Yeah.
our plan is to, moving forward, we
Yeah.
were supposed to move to quarterly billing, so that
Mhm.
would be every
Okay.
3 months.
Okay.
In July, but due to staffing, we couldn't do that, so we're planning this following
Mhm.
July. And then
Mhm.
possibly in the future, move to monthly.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I hope you can do that. This way, help us, it's kind of, residents. If we
Yes.
find a problem, we can solve it quickly, right?
Yes,
So I can, but now it's 6 months, everything passes away. You
Yeah.
will have to go back. No, I tell you what the reason. I do the calculation. I didn't do. My brother do the calculation. He
Yeah.
sent me the calculation. Man, it's hard to believe this bill can be. I don't know how to solve the problem. I hope, yeah. No, I
I
don't
also,
know. I not expect that because the meter is correct. I not expect to get a fully amount again refund, but I think they should be get a partial refund, make me at least something I don't understand, right? So yeah,
we also have, Mr. Chen, with the new system in the new cellular
yeah,
endpoints, we have a program you can log into called Ion Water,
okay.
which you can log in with the account and you can actually look at the actual live usage.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
Yes,
that's another suggestion I want to make that because in the later, we if people don't know house, I can weekly, log in. I can see what happened. If something happened,
yes,
I can go to check.
absolutely. Yes,
Yeah, I think that what you said, the two, kind of improvement should be help us, check how the water use.
yes,
But now to
yeah,
go back to question here, this one, the bill, how we handle this bill?
yeah,
Too much money right now, right?
I understand.
Yeah.
Tim, in the past, could you talk a little bit about splitting the sewer charge and the water charge in an abatement like this?
So historically, if it's been proven or stated that there was a leak that didn't enter the sewer system, it went through the meter, but it didn't go through into the sewer system. So whether it was like a washing machine hose or an exterior hose or exterior irrigation,
Mm.
we could typically abate a portion of the sewer. But you typically when it goes through the water meter, you can't abate the water.
So Tim, how much is the water bill again and the sewer bill?
The water bill is just over $1,167, and the sewer bill is $917.
And this board has the discretion to abate one or both of those bills
Or a portion, yes.
or a portion. Okay, board members, do I hear any discussion?
I think the question, Tim, is historically, when you've had a situation similar to this, how much of the sewer portion did you abate?
So if it was proven or stated that it was a use that did not enter the sewer, so it was like an exterior hose or irrigation or like I said, washing machine hose or something, then we would look at past sewer bills
Mm-hmm.
and we would actually abate down to a historical bill average.
So that's the historical practice.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We don't know exactly where the leak was, Tim?
No.
No.
Is there any way to make an educated guess depending on the amount of water?
It could have been an outside spigot, or it could have been
Mhm.
you know, an inside leak or toilet.
Mhm.
But like Mr. Chen said, they have an electronic toilet, which
Yeah.
he feels that would not leak. I've not looked into any type of that toilet that they have with a
Yeah.
So
bidet,
it's-
with a bidet seat, I think.
So there's a reasonable assumption that the water leaking did not enter the sewer. That's a reasonable assumption here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Board members, do you need any more information?
Just one more quick question, Tim, if the assumption is that the water did not enter the sewer,
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
is it that we abate a portion or we abate all of the sewer?
a portion. Because there is typical use, biannual readings,
Mm-hmm.
for water usage in the house that, that, let me pull up a bill. Sorry.
Yeah, I can. No, I had a picture show you what the toilet structure look like. I will take the picture. If you let me show the screen, I can show the picture. Okay. So I'm
We
gonna
have,
show yeah. You want me to
one
show the
second,
screen?
we typically see an average around $50
Mm,
biannually,
Yeah.
for a sewer
Yeah.
bill.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a far cry from 917.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then it would be possible or logical to abate the sewer charge less $50. Is that what you're suggesting?
I mean, I might go a little higher than that because we can't determine whether or not it was in the sewer. Or maybe go down to around 100.
Mr. Almy, Derek Martin, 25 years of being a water foreman. I think it's the act of kindness of what you guys are doing. The water went somewhere, whether the
Yeah.
water was left on a faucet. You know, Mr. Chen is stating that the toilet is mechanical, but having a mechanical toilet
Electrical.
is electrical. Thank you. There is still rubber seals, what is opening and closing to stop the water from going down into a toilet, whether it malfunctioned or whether it did, the water went somewhere. So I think the fact of this is, you know, leaning on the portion of Mr. Chen being a resident of us, you know, with the opportunity to, you know, there's a mistake that was made on back and forth, and it is a large sum of money. So the water did go somewhere, but we don't know where it went. But it definitely didn't go in the yard because, you know, every time that I've came up on something, whether there was a hose or or irrigation, we physically saw that water and we had something to go on, or you know,
Mm-hmm.
the board or the administration had something to go on.
Yeah.
So the water did go somewhere. You know, the assumption is it went down the drain. I mean, if it didn't go anywhere else, whether it's not, you know, physically possible, because Mr. Chen obviously doesn't look like a man that would just let it go. So he wants it fixed and wants to do the right thing. So I think it's that point that did go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I just say it's the board being an act of kindness, taking care of a resident, you know, like we have in Mr. Chen.
You know, one thing is that, I also consider the water go to yard, but the Antonia goes there, see that also when they will see it, because we don't have the house glass becomes really dry. It's really dry, okay? You can go there, every neighborhood is green, he's yellow. So that's mean not like the water go to, there. I don't, that's why to be honest, I still couldn't figure out where water go, okay? How does the meter can be go? But you people think about it, I trust the meter test result for sure. But something number, I don't understand how the accuracy can be over than 100, So the
I think it,
107.
Mr. Chen,
All right,
Mr.
so
Chen,
gentlemen, I think the
Yeah.
board has a fair amount of information before it.
Okay.
Do the board members have any other questions?
Rob, the only other question I have is since this particular episode, have they been able to check to see if we're having flows that are continuing to be this high?
Tim, is there now water going through the meter or has that been abated?
Very good question, Mr.
Tony. Are
Yes.
you on?
Yes,
Can you check, Mr. Chen's, uh, current usage?
Yeah, one thing is after last time, engineers come to put the water meter there. So I talked to them, I let them to shut down. Because I don't know what's going on, so I shut down. But yesterday I went to a house, I was hired people, check every, faucet. So then after check this one, so we had to put it back. I check it today. I probably go to check again to see what happened. But yesterday we just put it back. But during the time after meter was put back, so we keep it shut down. That's kind of condition until so a couple weeks until now the weather becomes cold. I need to put it back, right? I worry about it with the weather cold part need a kind of heating system. That's why I put it back, yesterday. But I had two people there check all the house, surrounding house inside. So yesterday looked like normal. But the previous one, I did not turn on. Okay.
Board members, any other questions?
No.
No?
Okay. Do we have any interest in taking action on this?
Well, I think, Rob, first of all, we need to know if the problem has been abated, or is this gonna be a continuation and multiply the problem, for Mr. Chen in amount that he's being billed. My feeling is if the precedent has been to abate, the sewer portion of that bill, then we ought to consider that. We would follow the precedent. I don't want to start a new precedent, but if that's been the precedent of the board in the past, I think we should follow that direction.
Tim, as to Mr. Gagne's concern, has the property shown any significant water use since May 3rd?
So we have, I think, Tony, are you looking up current usage? We have since May 3rd through all the way through May
Started for April 13th.
31st. From May 3rd through the
this term.
31st,
Yeah.
there was a portion of usage on the 3rd, and then the rest of the month of May, there was little to no usage.
Okay, so Mr. Gagne, I think that addresses your question, that whatever was going on was abated in May.
So my motion would then be that on the sewer portion of Mr. Chen's water/sewer bill, that we abate all but $100 on the sewer side.
Do I have a second to the
I
motion?
would second that.
All right.
Sorry.
Uh,
lost you guys.
I'm sorry,
That was Tony.
Tony?
I lost you guys, sorry. But he had no water usage ever since that episode.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We have a motion by Mr. Gagne and a second by Mr. LaBelle. Mr. Gagne, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. LaBelle?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. So we have an abatement of $817 toward the bill in question. All right. Anything else on this item?
No.
All right. Moving on, the item old business B, comprehensive wastewater management plan.
The comprehensive wastewater management plan.
Hang on, I'm sorry. Mr. Chen, do you have any other questions?
So you mean so you can, I can get a $880 to refund?
$817
Okay,
abatement.
yeah, that's fine, I think it's reasonable because, I also don't understand what's really going on, but I definitely pay attention. If you get a $818 refund, I think that's acceptable, right?
Okay,
I
And-
don't want to argue, say I got a full apply because I'm also completely confused. Okay, what's really going on, but I've definitely pay attention more about the future to make sure everything, but I was like a June's, start, what June said, if I change the bill for monthly, also get a automatic system can check. Okay, this kind of two things, town improvement should be help us.
Absolutely.
yeah, we're working on making the system more responsive
Mhm.
and with shorter billing cycles. So, Mr. Chen, thank you for your patience
Okay.
and thank you for working with us on this item.
Okay, so when we can get the refund check back? When we can receive that?
We will send notice to the
Mhm.
collector's office.
Okay,
And you can reach out to them probably next week.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Okay, I can leave right now?
Yes,
Yes,
you're all set.
yes,
Okay,
and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you,
a good day.
Mr. Chen.
Okay.
All right, Tim, old business B, comprehensive wastewater management plan.
So the comprehensive wastewater management plan, RFQ, has been finalized and we're working on scheduling the advertisement dates. Once all the dates are correct, we should be able to get this out. Hopefully, within the next week.
All right, and what sort of turnaround are you asking prospective consultants to to work under? Is this 30 days or do you have any idea?
I think it's 30 days.
All right, so we'd expect perhaps some idea at our December meeting.
Yes. Yep.
All right, board members, any questions?
No.
All right, hearing none, next item is old business C, operational study.
So I had submitted the operational study scope from the town administrator to multiple consultants for proposals. I've received one back. It's in your package. One proposal has two options that look pretty good. Option one, what I see has an option to look at 3 to 5 peer communities and only present to the stakeholders once. And option two offers to reach out to 10 peer communities, benchmarking of 10 peer communities and with one presentation. So I would propose kind of a hybrid approach and recommend 5 peer community comparisons and benchmarking with 2 presentations, one to the Board of Public Works and one to the Select Board.
Board members, any questions?
Yes. I think we have heard in what the items are that the select board members have put together, that Cody has put together in a list of the subjects that need to be addressed. I believe Chairwoman Heidi Brooks has stated that, in fact, based on the depth of the questions and the subject matters, that in fact it's a rather formidable undertaking. I feel that the issues that they have addressed it needs a deeper dive, more than just comparison to comparable communities. I think we're looking at a systematic analysis versus they do it this way in community X, Y, and Z, and it costs X, Y, and Z. I could not vote favorably for what Tim has just mentioned for those reasons, that I think the system needs to be looked at and issues need to be identified. It really should follow the format of the Department of Revenue's in-depth analysis that they do of communities in their divisional local services. If you read some of those reports, and they did one for Dartmouth years ago, it goes and looks at the operation, the systems, and I feel that we need to do that, and I'm going to hold firm on that.
I can agree with that.
Ron, do you have any comments?
No, that was actually my position when this came up originally. I really don't consider it to be useful to be comparing our town against other towns. We should be looking at our town. Look at the things that we need, that we do, how we do them, and are they successful, appropriate, manageable, affordable? I mean, that would be my position as well.
And it is, I can say it is tough to find matching communities because no other communities have the same operation as Dartmouth, so. And infrastructure, so.
Exactly.
I see Mr. Haddad is with us. Do you have any comments on this?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair. So a few points of clarification. The scope that we put together was based off of the select board's kind of feedback, but the idea was a collaborative process to develop a scope with the Board of Public Works. So I just wanted to be clear that there was no intention to send a scope to the Board of Public Works and say, this is what we want. The expectation was this is the feedback that the select boards received. You certainly have a more thorough knowledge of the operation than most of us. So the idea was for you to provide your feedback and then jointly put together a scope of work that we could then solicit proposals from. As far as the comparable communities, I tend to agree with you, right? Every community is unique, particularly when you get down to the operational level of departments such as the Public Works. However, it is one component that's important to look at. I don't think you want to hang your hat on it, but it's certainly one piece, which if you look at the scope that we developed, it is one piece of it. But I'd really recommend that the board look at the scope that we drafted and work through that and you make edits, add things, suggest moving things, and then Tim and I can really finalize that and seek proposals from vendors. But it's really meant to be a collaborative process. This wasn't meant to be, this is the end all be all scope. It was a kicking off point. We want your feedback. And then we develop a scope that we jointly feel is going to accomplish what we need to.
So I'll make a comment here that's more process than substance. As we know, we're a 3-member board, so we're somewhat constrained on our ability to form any kind of subcommittee or working group. Which means in order to for the board to work on some of these technical issues, we'd either have to have a notice public meeting, or one board member would have to take the lead working with Tim and your office, Mr. Haddad. And I'm not sure, board members, how you'd like to proceed in making additional suggestions on the scope here. Mr. Gagne, do you have any ideas? Oops.
Do we lose Mike?
Yeah, I'm showing that his audio is off and I've got no picture.
I think he
He's
fell
not
off.
yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, there he
There
is.
he
There it
is.
is.
There he is.
Sorry about that. I had to step away for a second.
So we are constrained as a 3-member board. We can't put together a subcommittee to work on this. Do I have any individual board members that are interested in working with Tim on some scope revisions, perhaps looking at what we have in front of us and suggesting some changes?
Sure, I'd do that with Tim, sure.
Okay, and then Mr. Haddad, you guys are able to work with Tim and Mr. Gagne and develop a scope that reflects both the Public Works Board concerns and the Select Board concerns?
Yeah, so
Right.
Tim has a draft. I'm not sure if it's been shared with the
Yeah,
board.
it has been.
Yes.
Yes, so what I'd recommend if Tim and Mike want to work on paring that down, and then I'd recommend that you bring it back to the full board
Yes,
for your feedback. And I know you don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of it necessarily, but this is important, and I think everyone needs to be on the same page. And so the select board did this exactly. You know, they looked at it in a meeting, provided feedback. We made some small adjustments, and then they voted on approving the scope to send over to you guys. So I think before we go out for proposals, it's important that the full board do that. But Tim and Mike, you know, certainly we work together all the time. So just let us know, we can schedule some time to go over it.
yeah, our next regular meeting is the week before Thanksgiving. So I think Tim, if we had something back on our agenda then, Mr. Haddad, would that work for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, all right. So Mike, if you could work with Tim and bring something back that reflects your concerns. I think the concept here is to make it better and more useful for both the department, but also the town. So whatever changes we make from that flow from this evaluation are to the good. And I think this is an important step. So thank you for being willing to work on that. I appreciate it. All right. Anything else on this, Tim?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, so this is not an action item. If there are no other.
No, it is not.
Yes,
It was a discussion item.
yes. So if there are no other comments, we'll move to our next item, which is the storm debris management. Tim?
Yeah, so this is on here for a discussion or update. I don't have any update at this time. I'm waiting to set up a meeting with emergency management to discuss some planning. We have a good base for the debris management plan, so we just want to move forward with some discussions with emergency management.
All right, that sounds good. Having gotten through the hurricane season, apparently.
Yes.
We have a little bit of breathing room to work on this. Have you had any opportunity to discuss this with the Waste Management District?
I have, yes. We've
Okay.
worked closely together on this.
Okay, good.
They've done a lot of work on it.
All right. Thank you. Any board members, any questions?
No.
All right, with that, we'll move to new business. Item A, a discussion of the Water Enterprise Fund. We have with us Mr. Haddad and Mr. Carrero. So I think this discussion item flows from the need to look closely at where we are from a budgetary standpoint.
Yeah.
Gary, you want to lead this discussion?
Sure. So, as we're aware, town meeting just happened, and we had to do a transfer from retained earnings to address the deficit in the water enterprise fund. Really never been done before, and I think we know the reason why is because of the exceptional amount of water that we're purchasing from the city of New Bedford. Now, that's above and beyond what we could have even projected in prior fiscal years because of the wells being down. And I know Tim has talked about that over the course of the last year and a half, probably, and repairing those wells to get them back online. So we're anticipating that hopefully some of those bills from the city and those charges from the city will decrease. But we still have to address the fact that, we're in a new fiscal year now. We've pretty much took care of fiscal 25 at town meeting. But going forward, we're gonna have to look at what the budget looks like and what potentially we need to do to mitigate any kind of impact to the department and keep the enterprise fund solvent for fiscal 26. So that's where we are right now. We've had some preliminary meetings, both Tim, myself, and Cody, to talk about that. But this is just more high level, wanting the board to know that we're going to be looking at potentially something down the road, a package that the board could look at for fiscal 26, so that we make sure that this doesn't really happen again going forward.
Okay, board members, any questions?
So one of the questions I would have is that the expenditures through the first quarter of fiscal 26, if we compare those expenditures to a period before the situation with the town wells being down, basically my question is the burn rate currently and what we have to pay for makeup water going to exceed what you have estimated for revenues for fiscal 26?
Hey, Mike, it's Cody. Yeah, yes, the answer to your question is yes. To be very clear, our goal is to bring back a package to the Board of Public Works at your next meeting in November that'll look at a mid-year rate increase as well as the rate structure. If we do not do that, we are looking at a significant deficit for the current fiscal year based on Q1 actuals and projections for the rest of the year.
Okay. The other point that I want to ask you folks to look at is what you have for uncollectibles that are 90 days or older. My experience has been that, in fact, sometimes there is a significant amount in some big users who are in arrears, and I think we ought to know what the value is and what those bills amount to in total. Thank you.
Mike, I can speak to that a little bit. So most of our large users are surprisingly up to date. We talk about UMass Dartmouth, the jail, the mall being a big user, not really, but most of those facilities are up to date. And as you are aware, that those get liened. So we protect those bills by liening them to the real estate tax. Once, if in fact they don't get they don't get paid, but we can get the number to you to the board on what that number, what that amount is, for fiscal 25, and let you know what pretty much got liened. But as far as like the big users, the heavier users, where they're pretty current.
Thank you.
Board members, any other questions? Okay, so again, the issues with this current year have to do with limitations on our own supplies, our wells, a last minute significant rate increase by the city of New Bedford, and an unusual dry spell during the time when people would want to water their lawns. So one of the other issues that we need to look at is whether we can do a better job responding to dry spells or droughts, as some people call them. And I'd like to work with Tim in being a little more nimble when this kind of a situation comes out, to see if we can control water use. And the second discussion that occurred at town meeting, and Tim will get to this, I think, later, is whether the town has any additional supplies that it can develop to help ameliorate the need to purchase water from New Bedford. It's great to have New Bedford as a backup source, absolutely essential. But is there anything that the town can do to develop its own sources? So we'll come back. Tim can discuss that a little more during the director updates, but I think also we'll take a look at these over the next few months and see if there's any additional work that the department needs to do. So anything else on this item?
Zoom in.
Just one thought, Mr. Chairman. I think the town during the summer months when we are in drought conditions, we need to be a little bit, more proactive in informing the public. I mean, even in my neighborhood here, you got people running sprinklers, every day, all week long. They have beautiful lawns, but the town's running out of water and can't afford to move forward. And, maybe a little bit more proactive in informing the public. Maybe even consider penalties. But, the public needs to know and they need to be involved to help out in this, or it's just going to stay the way it is.
I couldn't agree with you more, Ron. I really couldn't. I think it's there's the educational piece, and enforcement piece, and I think taking a hard look at the way our rate structure is and seeing if the top rate is high enough in cost, which there's always a number of possible reasons that people will control water use. One is money. So I think what we do need to look at that. We've got materials from the state and from other parts of the country, and so we'll definitely work on that.
Rob, one of the, I think, sort of the hidden factors that we need to have some consultation from our groundwater hydrologists on is the issue of what capacity we would have when the additional 1,400 units in total in town get added to the water inventory and system. By my count, that's a 12% increase in the number of households that'll be taking water. And that might even far exceed what our capacity is to handle. We may be still buying significant amount of water when all of those units come on, because we talk about exploration of further sources. That is not a short process, and I think we're going to have a timing issue between when these units are built and come on and when we would have possibly internal capacity in town to handle it. So I think maybe we should have a conversation and agenda our groundwater hydrologist to address that question to our board and the public, maybe for the next meeting.
Right.
Mr. Almy, I have something to say as far as that too. We keep talking about the water usage and where we're getting, where we're paying for it. We also have to make sure that our billing department is doing everything correctly, because like human nature, if someone gets a bill that's normally $1,000 and we've sat in front of this board and done exactly this, and they get a bill from $100, they're certainly not going to call us and tell us that they got $900 credited because of a mistake. So we have to watch and make sure that that is correct, just like the meters and everything we're doing. Is that when that billing is correct and we know that that's there, and whether people have been a revolving door coming in and out, it obviously is not the easiest thing for someone to do to keep an eye on. So I think if we are keeping an eye on that as well as the usage, and we start to really get better at that, I think that's going to be huge as far as budgeting and where our revenue is coming from. Just sitting as an outsider, I know I just started in this position 4 years ago, and I've never really dealt with the billing end of it. But being a homeowner and being you know, the things that I do, is if we watch our billing and we know that that's going out correctly, and then we can base on revenue, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. The, when water audits are done, you look at physical losses out of the pipes, and those losses have a value. But you also look at the billing system to see if you're losing revenue because of errors in the billing system. And as it turns out, those are actually more valuable than plugging leaks in the system on a gallon by gallon basis. So,
Absolutely. We know that Gary could tell us that for sure.
yeah,
You know, running this
absolutely.
whole.
All right. Okay, any other discussion on this item? So Tim, Cody, Gary, you guys will be back next month with additional detail and a strategy, and then we'll go from there. All right. If there are no other questions, we'll move to next item under new business. Item B, Sagamore Drive ADU sewer connection fee waiver. Tim?
I believe Mr. Andrade is here. Mr. Andrade of 33 Sagamore Drive is currently permitted for the construction of an accessory dwelling unit with 1 bedroom, a kitchen, a living room, and 1 bathroom. We have calculated the sewer connection fees based on the 2006 Board of Public Works decision to charge a $1,500 sewer connection fee and $500 inflow and infiltration fee for all ADUs, which was consistent back then with all sewer connections. Now, back a couple of years ago, we increased the connection fees to $3,000 and with the same $500 inflow and infiltration fee. But we decided not to increase at that time the connection fee to ADUs. The water connection fee is only required if the ADU has to connect a new service or outside prior to the meter. Mr. Andre?
Yes. I apologize. I'm not much of a Zoom person. So I thank you for taking your time. Just trying to question this bill. I'm not sure of why it's so excessive for a 1 pipe connection that's being made 10 feet off the house. It seems like it's more than all the other permits put together. And I don't think I'd be able to look at myself in the mirror if I didn't question why so excessively high for no excessive use.
Tim, do you want to give him, Mr. Andrade, some background on where these connection fees go and why we charge them?
Your connection fees go into the revenue of the sewer enterprise fund to help maintain and build capital, retain earnings toward capital for the sewer collection system and wastewater treatment facility. And then the inflow and infiltration fees actually go in for to maintain and reduce inflow and infiltration throughout the collection system infrastructure to make sure that we're not treating clean groundwater or stormwater,
And
to reduce the costs and increase capacity.
so, Tim, what is the difference between the normal sewer connection fee and the connection fee for an ADU?
The typical connection fee for a new dwelling, based on an average of 3 bedrooms, is $3,000, and the inflow and infiltration fee is $500 for up to 4 bedrooms. Anything additional over 4 bedrooms, we charge a $5 per gallon per day, which is calculated at 110 gallons per day per bedroom per Title V.
All right, so the short answer is the fees are significantly higher. Board members, do we have any questions?
Tim,
Yes,
I'm sure this is not the first ADU that you have come before,
correct.
for the permits. Can you give us a little historical background on how these are handled?
So historically, these have been handled similarly. Anytime an ADU would come in to tie into water or sewer, the sewer connection fees are charged with the II fee, and water connection fee is charged only if they're not tying into the existing house after the meter. And typically that's for in-law apartments or accessory dwelling units. There's some new regulations for ADUs, 760 CMR that I did include in the board packets, which protect against overregulation and extraneous fees. So I have reached out to the town administrator and requested that be reviewed by town council to confirm that our fee structure is properly being implemented.
So Governor Healy signed that particular piece of legislation a year ago, this past July. And I am concerned that Tim raises the point that there are certain aspects to that under that Code of Massachusetts regulation. I would prefer that we get an answer from council, since we're going to be dealing with a lot of these ADUs under that new legislation on smaller lots, in the issue of what is legitimate to charge for a fee and for connection. So I would move that we table this till the next meeting until we get something, and I would prefer the council puts it in writing so that Tim has that document as this goes forward, but I think we need further information.
Okay, so we have a motion to table this request by Mr. Gagne. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. LaBelle. Mr. Gagne, how do you vote?
I vote favorably to table it.
Mr. Gagne votes yes. Mr. LaBelle, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. LaBelle votes yes. Chair votes yes. So, Mr. Andre, the board has tabled your request, and you have the honor and privilege of driving a big question for us. And so we'll take the time to really understand everything about it to make sure that your request is considered fully here. All right.
I appreciate that very much.
Okay.
In the meantime, it has been inspected by Mr. Ogwin, the plumbing inspector. Just asking permission of the board that I can move forward with the project in the process.
Tim, could you work with the town administrator's office and the collector's office and find a way that while we're trying to answer these legal questions, which may take a while, that if everything else is taken care of and we have a way of collecting whatever the appropriate fee is, that this project can move forward?
Yes.
All right.
Will do.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
I did request a hold on an occupancy permit so we could allow him to progress. But that has not been confirmed yet from building. So I will work with the town administrator on that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yep. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Andrade.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Next item on the board's agenda is Russell Mills landfill monitoring agreement. Tim?
This is our annual landfill monitoring agreement with CDM, where they inspect the capped landfill and transfer station and analyze groundwater, surface water, and gas well samples, and then they report to the state The total contract for the year is $18,650. This is funded through solid waste and recycling.
Board members, any questions?
My only question, Tim, and you can find an answer and get back to us.
Sure.
How long is the lease, or what is the expiration date on the lease with the solar company that's on the landfill?
I can check with that. That's Borrego Solar. Yep.
All right, if you could get back to us on that, I can imagine it probably was a 20 or 25-year lease, and
Yes.
I think a good portion of that may have gone by. I'm curious, since any revenue there could potentially change to either a higher level at the end of that lease to be helpful for you.
Yep. And they, Borrego Solar is responsible for maintaining anything within the fenced-in area around the solar farm.
Yep.
But CDM does inspect that area as well.
Any other questions, board members? Do I have a motion on this item?
Motion to approve?
Second,
I have a motion by Mr. LaBelle to approve the monitoring agreement and a second by Mr. Gagne. Mr. LaBelle, how do you vote?
Yes?
Mr. Gagne?
yes.
Chair votes yes, item is approved. Next item is licensed utility layer, ATL Construction. Tim?
Yes, ATL Construction Incorporated of East Bridgewater. They have 38 years in business, over 40 years of experience. They have submitted a full application package with insurance requirements and bond, with reference letters from Holbrook Public Works, from one of our former engineers here, who's now the director and superintendent of Public Works over in Holbrook. Also letter of reference from Stoughton Water and Sewer and Rockland Sewer. All good reference letters, and I recommend approval of the utility layer license.
Board members, any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second,
Motion by Mr. LaBelle, second?
second,
Second by Mr. Gagne. Mr. LaBelle, how do you vote?
Yes?
Mr. LaBelle votes yes. Mr. Gagne?
yes.
Mr. Gagne votes yes. Chair votes yes. Item is approved. Next item, item E, licensed utility layer, LDS Designs. Tim?
LDS Designs of Bellingham, Mass. Has 12 years in business. Has also submitted a full complete application package with insurance and bond, and reference letters from Franklin Public Works, Walpole Town Engineer, Walpole Sewer and Water, and Milton Public Works, all positive reference letters. I recommend approval for a utility layer license for LDS Designs.
Board members, any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Mr. LaBelle moves approval. Do I have a second?
Second,
Second by Mr. Gagne. Chair vote, I'm sorry, Mr. LaBelle, how do you vote?
Yes?
Chair vote, Mr. LaBelle votes yes. Mr. Gagne, how do you vote?
yes.
Mr. Gagne votes yes. Chair votes yes. Item is approved. Next item, item F, Crossroad Improvements Amendment. Tim?
Yes, this is our third amendment for Crossroads Improvement. The original agreement was for the 25% design. And the amendment 2 was for this to move forward with the 75% design. The addition of additional survey for stormwater design and additional stormwater design for this has increased the ask, and they are requesting an additional $17,000 amendment to proceed with this for the 75% design to be submitted to Mass DOT for the transportation improvement plan. The tip.
Board members, any questions?
And what's the reason for the increase, Tim?
Additional survey for stormwater design, they're trying to, they're working on a stormwater design in an outlet area,
Yep.
which could be, off-site, so it's out of the scope of work, and it's out of the project limits. So we're
Yep.
extending the project limits, for this
Okay.
survey and for the stormwater design.
Okay, thank
And
you.
just, and to let the board know, we recently installed some temporary stormwater. I mean, it could be long-term, but it's, subsurface infiltration to help with the ponding in that area. As development continues in that area, and that section of road is basically just rural drainage with just runoff. And, as development continues with the substation from Eversource, there's a pump station, every development raises the elevation of their site, which keeps the water from draining off to where it used to be. So this is why we have to move forward with some stormwater design here. So I recommend this amendment. They're currently working on the 75% design, so I'm looking to expedite this. We did go out after the drainage, and we recently paved a little section that's within the limits of the site, just because it was in rough shape. And we continued to Hicksville Road, which would be the next phase, but that's probably many years out. But that was a section that Eversource Gas had replaced their gas lines and did some trench work, so it needed some maintenance, so we overlaid that section as well.
Board members, any other questions?
Tim, what do you rank on the tip for that particular project funding?
It was 2029, might be 2030 now.
But
So
what are you high on the priority for funding?
that project, I think, was a pretty good on a priority, because it's such a route, especially from the school from UMass through to 195.
Yeah, I think
I can get you the rating.
Yeah.
To
I'm concerned that we should be able to get our money to do that project as soon as possible, and certainly get it to 75% design.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the busiest connector roads.
Yeah.
Between Route 6 out to 195 University or Westport Road. And boy, I'll tell you, that's very dangerous there. When that floods out and you come around that corner, that's very concerning. And I would think from a safety aspect, they should rank that very high on the tip.
Absolutely. And if I can get you that information, and we actually created the limits on this project so the entire electric crossroad would be multiple phases to decrease the cost of each phase and if we're planning to expedite this through, and hopefully get it through earlier on the tip, as sometimes when there is additional budget remaining on the tip for any projects that may have been pushed off due to the design or timing or the size of the project. Sometimes you can get in a smaller project earlier. So that was kind of our focus on this project.
I would make the motion to accept the quotation for additional engineering services to VHB in the sum of $17,000.
I have a motion by Mr. Gagne. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. LaBelle. Tim, before we vote, what's the source of the 17,000?
Our road maintenance article.
Okay, so these are our dollars. Is this money in the budget?
It's in the road maintenance articles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Gagne, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. LaBelle?
Yes,
Mr. LaBelle votes yes. Chair votes yes. Item is approved. Item G, Weston Sampson Construction Administration Amendment. Tim?
So, in light of the recent events with the water enterprise, this Weston Sampson Construction Administration Amendment is an amendment to their existing contract on construction administration at the 579 Old Westport Road Treatment Facility upgrades. We had originally agreed a contract of $100,000, where they had originally proposed $370,000 proposal for the construction administration of the project. That funding is exhausted, so they had submitted another proposal for additional $100,000. So we do have a maintenance article for the upgrades at the facility currently with this funding, but with the issue with the expenses with purchasing water from the city of New Bedford and lack of retained earnings, it's questionable if you want to move forward with this or not. I have met with them and stated that we could, to reduce some of the costs, our staff could do some of the inspections on the 4-log piping. So the 4-log piping is water piping, ductile iron, that they're extending to be able to turn back on the Pinelli wells, 2 of the Pinelli wells. And I asked that they prioritize this part of the construction and expedite it, so we can try to get those wells on sooner than later, and rather than work on the water quality upgrades for the backwash storage, work on the piping and have our staff inspect some of that to reduce some of the costs. And they said they'd get back to us on that.
Tim,
Right, so what's your recommendation then?
I mean, I would like to have this available to award, but whether or not we can move forward with it, I'd like to work with Gary and the town administrator on this a little more.
All right, board members, do you have any questions?
Tim, on that particular project, what is that total project cost?
I think it's 2.6 million, I believe.
So this will bring the contract for Weston and Sampson up to $470,000.
No, their original proposal was 370, but we only approved 100,000.
Okay.
So if you look at in the package, there is the contract. So that'll bring this, I think, the current to 200,000.
So you've fully expended the first 100,000 that you've agreed upon. My concern is, if we don't approve additional amount for the purposes of inspection, it's going to hold up that project.
It may, yes.
I mean, and I understand your concern about expending this kind of money in consideration of, like, you know, what we had in fiscal 25. I mean, if we were to approve or authorize, let's say, half of that amount, and if that that $50,000 was reviewed with Cody and with the finance director as to, you know, what it's going to do, I would be amenable to that. I don't want to hold the project up, but then in turn, what I heard has been expended so far in purchases of water from the city of New Bedford. You got to make sure your budget can support it.
Correct. Absolutely. So I would recommend moving forward with a $50,000 approval, and I can have Weston and Sampson update their amendment to that.
Subject to
a review, yes.
By Cody and the finance director. I would so make the motion to authorize expenditure up to 50,000 and then get back to us at the next meeting after you've had this financial review and you move forward so the project doesn't get held up.
I agree.
I have a motion by Mr. Gagne. Do I have a second?
I'll second that. I'm just a little bit confused, Tim. This is for the backwash supply storage tank?
And 4-log installation. It included the addition. So this is the project that we got funded through APA, that we went to the Bristol County Commissioners for. It was
Yeah.
the building addition with the pump system, backwash supply storage, and 4-log piping, which is 36-inch diameter ductile iron piping.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll second that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, we have a second by Mr. LaBelle. I have a couple of questions, Tim. First of all, did the ARPA funding require a match? In other words,
No, did not.
all right, so but the funding did not include the inspection?
Construction admin, no, did not.
Okay. All right, so that's why the town is on the hook for it. And do you feel confident that you can focus the next phases of construction and therefore inspection on the actual 4-log piping?
I do, yes.
All right, so and that would allow us the shortest and fastest path to bringing these wells back online.
Correct.
All right. Okay, with that, Mr. Gagne, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. LaBelle?
Yes,
Chair votes yes. You'll report back to us where we are on this project at our next meeting. Is that right?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Next item is item H, committee updates. Board members, any committee updates? I have none. Then the item I is director updates. Tim, town meeting?
So, town meeting, I think it went well. There were, I believe, 14 articles, which were all approved. In terms of public works, Article 5 was the appropriation from the water enterprise retained earnings for the FY25 deficit. That was approved. And the appropriation for solid waste enterprise retained earnings FY25 deficit was just over $4,000. That was approved as well. The capital planning was approved, so that included the approval of our DPW sewer and stormwater asset management plan grant funding. So it's part of our match to move forward with our sewer mapping and our stormwater mapping and asset management for $100,000. Phase 2, next phase of the crossroad design for $150,000. The operational study for $60,000, along with GAP grant match funding for $40,000 for HVAC work here at the administration building. That GAP grant, I think the total cost of the project's over $200,000 in the match. With all the rebates, the match ends up around just under $40,000, or just over $40,000, sorry. But we have additional funding through an article to supplement that. The highway division was awarded a 28,000 GVW plow truck for $196,000, and a 34,400 GVW dump truck with plow and sander for $270,000. DPW engineering was awarded a pickup truck replacement for $45,000. Construction division, Freightliner 25,000 GVW dump truck with plow for $196,000. And I believe that's the non-CDL truck. so that we're bringing online. And the sewer enterprise was awarded $225,000 towards a preliminary treatment grit and screen chamber rebuild, which is highly in need of a rebuild right now. And the water pollution control facility upgrade evaluation for $500,000, which will work towards the CWMP. And then solid waste was awarded a recycling truck for $540,000. And then the Article 9, which was the charter amendment for the Board of Public Works membership to go from 3 to 5 members, that was approved as well. And that was, I believe, all for Public Works. There were no holds on any of our capital items, or there was one hold, but when it came back to the hold, nobody questioned any of the articles. There were questions on the transfer for the water deficit that we discussed throughout town meeting, and that was about it. Town meeting was about just under I think 2 hours.
Board members, any questions? Comments? I sat in and there was interest expressed by some town meeting members in evaluating new water supplies. And in particular, we have one resident from the northern part of the town who has some ideas about augmenting supplies within Dartmouth. And he's expressed this a couple of times. And given the issues that we discussed earlier, I think it would be good for us to bring forward on our agenda discussion about moving forward with an evaluation of new sources. And I'll work with Tim on what that might look like, and we can kind of have a conceptual meeting about a process. I think we'd talk process first and then figure out when we would be able to, in that process, actually talk about new sources. I think we need to talk, Mr. Gagne, I think you mentioned concern earlier about capacity for accommodating new development. I think we need to understand what that looks like before we really get into looking at new sources. So
I agree. And we also have multiple projects outlined within our 10-year capital plan that would bring some of our wells that are offline back online due to capacity restraints, where some of the piping was undersized based on demand back when it was designed and installed. So to increase the size of this piping, and also include some more backwash storage tank and facilities. That's all at one facility. 4-log at another facility, and aeration upgrades at one of our facilities would most likely bring on multiple wells that have been offline as well. I think those projects are doable. We would have to go to borrowing for them.
Tim, how many wells do we have offline?
I think we currently have 5, and in the summer months 7, when in drought or low river level conditions.
And do we have sort of an idea of what that original capacity was?
We do. Yes, we do.
Okay.
yeah, and my own opinion is the concerns we have about excuse me, about drought planning and public information, and the ability to convince water users when to conserve. I think that begins to converge with a discussion of new sources. Because inevitably, if you're gonna ask people to cut back on their water use, they're gonna say, well, how about some new sources? So we might as well try and stay ahead of that question.
Right.
So, all right, Tim, your next item is long-range capital planning.
So, I didn't have any updates on this. Did you, Rob?
All right,
Uh,
board members, any questions about that?
The only question or comment I have is if we could look at in time for the Springtown meeting, the issue of the cost of connection to the water main that's being put on, or I should say has been put on Route 6 up to Westport. I think the sooner we have that issue and the appropriation that would be necessary to make that connection, I think it would be beneficial.
Hey, Tim, so you can work on some kind of a round number estimate and a process so we know maybe how long that might take.
Right.
Yeah, there's kind of an interesting question about interbasin transfer that we need to discuss at the same time. All right. And I think that goes along with looking at additional sources.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on this, Tim?
Not on that. Not yet, not currently.
All right.
But we'll work on that. We have some meetings to schedule and some work to do on that.
All right. Next item is composting.
Yes, so on a water pollution control side, our composting process, so the material that we make with the brush from residents and the biosolids that are dehydrated, typically our contractor Casella takes that, hauls that and markets it. And then we basically split the profit currently. So they've been in business and they've been operating their facility up in Maine for 30 years. And due to market conditions and regulations and concerns with Forever Chemicals, they're actually planning on closing their facility. And will no longer be marketing this product as of October of 2026. So they are looking to terminate their contract as of next October, a year from now. We're working with them for an estimate to haul material out in different forms. They did give us an estimate on hauling wet sludge, which is about $230 to $240 per ton, with an average of 5,500 ton, which comes out to about $1.3 million per year. We're looking at kind of a hybrid option if we continue to process the compost, where we did rebuild the clam presses in the compost facility, and continue to process that. The dehydrated and composted biosolids are a lot lighter, but they will need some more solids so we can continue with the wood chips and some processing and hopefully get this hauled for less money due to the less tonnage. But that's where we are right now. And we also would like to explore other avenues and reach out to our consultants as well.
Tim, when you said an average of 55 tons, it's
5,500. 5,500.
5,500.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so it looks like this is coming up at us.
Oh,
So
boy.
if you and your staff could flesh out alternatives about what we're gonna do with our sludge.
Yes.
Because obviously it's gotta go somewhere, so. All right, board members, any questions?
That number that you mentioned earlier of the value of this, did that include transportation costs?
That was the hauling cost, yes.
All
So
costs.
basically, we would load the trucks and they would haul it.
And what was that number again?
It was approximately $230 to $240 per ton for about approximately 5,500 tons, which would comes out to around 1.3 million annually.
What does it cost us now? Or do we make money on it?
Yeah, we probably, I don't know, we call it probably break even. We don't really make much money, but we share the profits. So currently they haul, they market, they truck it, and they do all the work after we load them. So after all that transportation costs and their marketing, we split what's left, 50-50. But I can give you the numbers, but it's not much.
Yeah, well, the 1.3 million that you're not spending now.
Exactly. Exactly. So even if it's a
Are
break
we
even,
aware of anyone else that would want to jump into this?
we have had other vendors in the past that
Yep.
I think we're gonna reach out to
Gonna
see
reach
if,
out, okay, all
see
right.
if we can continue.
Well, we've got, oh gee, you got a whole year.
But I think if, we look at the issue, potentially, even if you were to offer it for the sake of discussion at $1 a ton and not share in the profits, you're still gonna come out ahead of the game versus liquid transport. And I would imagine for a very small payment, so we comply with chapter 30, 30B, that in fact you could get rid of it. You do a good operation there, you got a good product. I think even having a conversation with Casella about the issue of renegotiating the terms so that we're not caught in a situation where we're gonna have to pay out versus a small amount that you now get by sharing the profits.
I think they're getting out of the business of marketing the biosolid compost altogether. So
There are other firms that are out there that also deal in aggregate and materials
yes.
management. I think if you were to put out maybe a request for proposals, and you were able to send them directly to those entities, you might be able to catch somebody's interest.
All right, so Tim, you'll get back to us. This is probably something you should report back at each of our meetings.
I'll do.
All right, any other comments or questions, board members? All right, Tim, next item.
So last is staffing, just as we thought we were getting close to full staff, we had a couple hiccups. So, our admin clerk resigned and moved on to another position elsewhere. So we're currently looking for a new admin clerk for payroll and billing and accounts. So, and then our assistant water superintendent, Antonio Neves has also let us know that he's taking a position with another municipality as well. So he'll be leaving, I believe, sometime towards the end of November.
Okay,
Other than that, we have, I think we have still a couple of CDL positions open and SMEO hoisting positions open. We've filled 2 additional engineering positions, so we have 2 full-time and one part-time engineer. they're really working full-time at this point in time. So it's good to have that pretty much almost full staffed. We have one vacancy left. And and we still haven't filled the utility billing clerk floater position. We hired a candidate, an applicant who came in and worked 4 hours. While she was here, she got a call for another position she had applied for, and they offered her higher pay. And so she worked 4 hours and left for that other position. I think that was a record. I think that was a record.
Tim, are you documenting the increase in pay that people are getting when they go to jobs outside the town?
I'm not sure if she expressed what they offered her, but I know what Tony was offered, so.
Okay, if you can document that, make sure that Human Resources and the Town Administrator's Office both have
Yep.
that information.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, and they are moving forward with the compensation and classification process. They're still working on rewriting of job descriptions, which happened before the comp and reclass part. So once they're done with the job descriptions, we'll be getting those to review. I know they were trying to have this whole process done by the end of the year, but it's coming quick, so it'll be a tight timeline.
Tim, this situation, I think, epitomizes what you're seeing throughout municipal government in Massachusetts. And I think, and I heard that in fact you're meeting on a weekly basis with the HR director. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think the problem goes a little deeper than just the job description. And that is, if you could ask the HR director to maybe do some market analysis on the particular positions and the nature of the job, and you be able to advertise with rates that are competitive so that you don't spin your wheels for 2 months trying to find somebody. What you just mentioned, some of those jobs are extremely important, and I don't think it benefits your operation for protracted periods between people leaving and appropriate people coming to those positions. Something's got to be done, and to me, it's geared to the pay, not description. Those people know what they're going to do in the description. It's have an appropriate pay for the position. I mean, we're dealing with this on the district, the refuse district right now. You got to remain competitive, and if you fall behind, you're not going to get the response you need.
Yeah, and that's the part of the compensation and classification part of the process that the town has hired a consultant to look at, and that we will review. And I also wanted to say that, during this process, it's kind of all hands on deck. Our DPW staff here have, everybody has stepped up to lend a hand and is working basically outside of what they normally do to make sure we get our work done. And we've had some help from town hall as well, so.
No doubt, but the supply and demand situation is, a compensation plan updated today starts to get out of date, in less than a year. Those plans now have a shorter shelf life than ever. City has seen this situation. My feeling is before you go out and advertise for a position, ask the HR director to get some good salary ranges of what's being paid for that position now, and then have a discussion with Cody about, even if you work outside of the plan or starting people at higher steps based upon their experience.
Yes, and that needs to be
very important. You can't.
That needs to be negotiated in the union contracts, and I think, I'm making sure that they're aware of it, and other staff is also making sure that they're aware of that because of what we've gone through in the past 4 or 5 years in trying to hire staff. Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, Tim, any other items for our consideration?
No, that's it for now.
All right, board members, anything you want to discuss? All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a
Second,
motion by Mr. LaBelle. Do I have a second?
second,
Second by Mr. Gagne. Mr. LaBelle, how do you vote?
Yes?
Mr. Gagne?
yes.
Chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Thank you all for your time.